Hey, Bam here. On this video, I will explain how you can get rich on league start or events every time. I noticed that on my how I got my Mirror of Canada on day 4 video, I didn't really explain everything I went through. I just said what worked for me, but I will try to explain the principles of the way to go about it in this video. So, alright, here we go. So first off, even before the league starts, you should be researching a build that you actually like or think that would work, and then I would say practice with that character running at least through the axe for two reasons. First off, it will tell you if you actually like the build or not, and second thing is that it will give you experience running through the axe. I know some people are limited in time and cannot actually like do a lot of practice before the league start. I understand that, but I would say this is the best idea to do so because if you run through the axe often and get better at it, it will work on every league start. So I would say if you can, this is one of the best way to invest time in to get better at. Alright, now that you found what build you want to play and you get some experience with the campaign, hopefully, the second thing I would say is have a plan. So make sure you know what you're going for and also that your build is good at it, okay? Because if you let's say play a boss killer and then you're just running maps, you're not being efficient, okay? So make sure that you know what your character is good at and execute that task, okay? So it goes for the atlas, it goes for everything. So if you have the an atlas that is working on beasts like I am right now, make sure you're running beasts, right? If you want to run logbooks, make sure you invest into what is called expedition, okay? That way you can get some logbooks and then start the ball rolling, okay? And as I said earlier, if you're running logbooks, sometimes they're really rippy, so make sure your character is actually able to run those. And yeah, I think that's about it for having a plan. Now the third point I would say is invest into your character, okay? 'Cause some people sometimes are scared to spend their currency and they try to assemble like let's say 100 divine for headhunter or whatever the price is, right? Well, if your divines are staying in your stash and you're not using them, it's actually the worst thing that could happen, okay? Because divines, yes, they do go up in prices over time, but if you double your speed on your character, you will be making way more currency, right? If you, let's say on let's say on to be realistic, let's say at the end of day 1, you had 4 divines, right? And then you stop playing or whatever, it's fine. But the very next day, you should be investing those divines into crafting gear, acquiring uniques that really like helps you with your build or something, investing in gems or something. It shouldn't rot into your stash. Because if you start with, let's say, as I said, 4 divines, and then you start mapping or whatever your strategy is, and you're not using accuracy, you're losing so much power that should be invested into to your character, right? So whatever uniques that jumps, like let's say for a Righteous Fire for my build this league, like I got the Legacy of Fury on of Fury on day, I think it was day 2. Yeah, beginning of day 2. I paid 2.5 divines for them, right? Which is crazy right now, because if we check the price of Legacy of Fury, they're like 15, 20 chaos, like with no implicits, of course, but like it's insane how much I lost currency because I like end up losing 2.5 divines or almost 2.5, right? But at the same time, it helped my character so much that I was like able to do shit twice as fast as I was earlier. Like same for my death rush, okay? So make sure you invest into your character. So the main thing I would say is try to get the uniques that enables your build. So sometimes some build that requires a unique or really jump up the DPS of it. So try to do that, and then the most damage usually comes from the weapon. So make sure you try to craft or buy one from the website and really invest into it, because uh, in trade in trade league softcore, damage is everything, right? If you can kill stuff really fast without dying, of course, but if you can kill stuff really fast, it will be exponentially better, because over time you will be making currency that you can invest more into your character and so on. And then I will say keep investing into your character until like the changes barely do anything. Like let's say for example, this is a good example, right? My Death Rush, like early league, I bought the cheapest one, and then later down the road I upgraded to a perfect one. Okay, so paying a premium to get a perfect one is nothing, but being able to have the gain adrenaline for 1 second on kill, all right, for 1 second on kill was a total game changer. So just look at this, and then if this helps you in any way, please consider subscribing to my channel. And then for the fourth point, invest in your strategy. So if you're running, let's say I don't mind whatever you're doing. Let's say you're running abysses, right? And your atlas actually uses abysses and stuff like that. Now start buying scarabs for it, okay? So that's what I mean by investing in it. What I personally do is I invest into my rogues in heist, and I get them gears and stuff like that. I make sure I level them up. So this is how I do it. But you can invest on whatever you're going. But the and I buy contracts. But the main thing is that make sure you have enough supply to be running a bunch of maps. Because once you've entered like a decent bill enough to be able to blast whatever mechanic you're doing, you want to do it over and over and over. Because the worst thing you could be doing is like running a single map, then buying a scarab, then buying a map you haven't done, then okay, then you can run that map. Okay, now you're done. You didn't get any map from it. Okay, I have to buy some more maps. Voila. This is the worst thing. So it goes end to end with having a plan. But yeah, make sure uh, you execute that plan now. You buy your what's needed for you to run the maps, to interact with whatever mechanic you're going for. If you're running logbooks, say you like to run logbooks, but well, buy 2, 3, 4 logbooks at a time and then run them. And I don't know if you're running logbooks for Rug or for Tujin, then go to them and then use your currency with them. And once you're done, buy some more logbooks, and not one at a time, because as I said, if you're always on the trade website, you're losing time, and you will see why like being efficient is super important on league start, even more than later down the road in the league. Um, the other thing you can invest in, as I said, your strategy, but also your levels. So we get so much power from just straight up leveling that you shouldn't be skipping any EXP if possible. If you get, let's say, a beachhead, you could be looking for a bunch of people to split the cost on it and run those. If you see someone who's running, let's say, Chalula Bridgetown, right? You could pay currency to invest in character, because, as I said, you get so much power from getting levels. You get, first off, you get life, and you also get a point every time you level, right? So yeah, try to do that, and you should be golden. All right, now for the fifth point, the important thing is make sure you list your items. Okay, so instead of having every single item like you picked up anything is worth something into a private tab, you want to make sure it's open to the public and people can actually buy your items. Okay, it's super key, because as the leagues goes forward, the prices of average to bad items will go down really fast. So you want to make sure you sell those items as fast as possible, especially for like the trash ones. But for the, let's say, a ring with 50 life and 100 resist on early league, it sell for 40, 50 chaos. But then on league, on week after 1 week, it will sell for only like 5, 6 chaos. So you want to make sure you capitalize the fact that everyone like need their resistance fix and stuff like that. Okay, so make sure everything is listed. And sadly, this is the part where the kind of pay to win comes in. The more tabs you have, the easier it will be for you to do this. Because if you have only a single tab that you list every single item manually, it will take you more time and it will be harder to price check. Okay, so what I like to do is like having a bunch of tabs of like, let's say like here I have like 10 chaos, 20 chaos, 30 chaos, 40 chaos, 50 chaos, 80 chaos, a divine, divine and a half, two divines or whatever, and just I try to check what I think is worth and just drop them in there. Okay. Second thing is make sure you bulk your stuff, so you don't want to be selling. You want to be blasting it whatever strategy you're doing, running as much as possible. So you the only reason you want to stop is if you're making a big sale. Okay. So the worst thing that could happen is that you just start a map, start interacting with whatever mechanic you're doing, and then someone message you for a random scarab or something for 2 chaos, and then you leave your map, sell the scarabs, and then you go back to your map, right? This is not being efficient. So you want to make sure if you're selling scarab, for example, sell a bunch of them at a time, okay? It will sell for more and it will take less time. Okay, for the last point, you want to make sure you actually invest that currency that you're getting. So this is where the knowledge comes in. If you know what climbs up in price on League Start, it will help you a lot. But I will try to give you a bunch of example. Hopefully you can come up with your own, but if not, you can just copy those. So for 322, what I did is I actually invested in bunch of in Voidborn Reliquary keys. I was paying 30 to 40 chaos per Voidborn Reliquary keys, and also invested into the invitation. But yeah, this is what I did. As I said, you can invest in everything, in anything you think that will climb. You can use PoE Ninja to do your own research on what like jumps every league. If you look at the reliquary keys, ever since they got introduced into the game, they always start cheap and climb up. Okay. Then there's like divination cards are worth, like let's say the doctor, right? If you buy them day 1 or 2 or something like that, and then later on you can sell them for way more, right? So you don't even have to get the 8 out of 8, just buying a few and then you can sell it for more. Oh, that way, instead of having to rely on your own way to make currency with whatever strategy you're doing, you're actually investing whatever you get, so your money is making money for you, right? Okay? And then you have a bunch of stuff, like you could be investing in mirror shards, in mirror divination cards too. They always climb up in price because the mirrors usually climb up to, usually aside from this league, to 600 divines at the end of the league. In this league, we actually busted 600 divines for a mirror by a lot. But yeah, you can. This is something you can do. Invest in whatever, as I said, mirror shards or divination cards with mirrors. It's all the same. Uh, Next, you can invest in some uniques. Like if you think some uniques will climb up in price over time, you can invest in those. Yeah, I will not give any example because it changes in between leagues. But yeah, you can do your own research. What I actually did a lot in previous league, and for some reason I didn't this league, is invest in prime regrading lands. This league was actually the best to do ever. They were like 30 and to 50 chaos early on, and they kept climbing over and over and over and over and over. And if you check the video on how to use them on my channel, you will see how good it can be. And if imagine if you actually buy those and instead of just selling them, you actually use them for to get even more profits, so your margin are even better, right? Uh, so yeah, make sure you invest. The other thing I would say is invest into Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame. Again, with this you need a bit of knowledge, but let's say you played a build last league that you really enjoyed, didn't get nerfed because right now BG doesn't nerf like anything in between leagues for some reason. So if it worked on the past league, it will probably still work in this league, right? So if you check the price last league and you saw the price climbing up and up and up, this is something you can invest in. All right, hopefully this was helpful. This is what I will be doing on the events too to make sure I get rich real fast. So as always, take care, guys.